Hi, and thank you for visiting with me again for another series of Marinate on This. I am Richale Reed, a motivational speaker who actually happens to be a licensed clinical addiction specialist and a licensed professional counselor. And I just want to say thank you again for visiting my site and taking the time to get a moment of marinate on this. Since you last saw me, so many things have changed. So let's talk about the obvious. If you're looking at your camera and you look at the other videos for Marinate on This that were done last year, we started last year, my body's changed. My hair color's changed, and my face is a whole lot slimmer because of the body change. So I was thinking today about the fact that we need to get started with the Marinate on This series again. And how do I get started? Where do I start? And I decided that I would start with the obvious. That's body image. The things that for some people stop them from going to the next level. And for some of us, just motivate us, encourage us, and keep us going. And so that's what I wanted to talk to you about today. Body image. Are you allowing your body image to stop you from doing the things that you really want to do in life? Now, let's be honest. Some things as it relates to our physicality, if we're carrying too much weight on us, it will stop us from doing things that we really want to do. But not always. So decide where you are and decide if you are allowing your body image issues, whether they are real or perceived, to stop you. My story honestly didn't start with the 50, I've lost about 60 pounds. It didn't start with that. It didn't start with the 60 that I just lost. Do you know how much weight I've lost over and over and over again? I've lost a lot of weight over and over and over again because my journey with weight started in my childhood. I can remember my first visit to a doctor. I was 7 years old. And I remember sitting on a table, the doctor table, with the white sheet, on top of it for sanitation purposes. And that white sheet was sitting there and it was making all that noise and everything. And I'm sitting there and the doctor comes in and tells my mom that I'm overweight and that she has to put me on a strict diet, that I would no longer be able to eat Cocoa Pebbles, which I absolutely loved. I couldn't eat those things anymore. And I remember at 7, I got started on my first diet. What's so interesting is you have heard so many stories of food addiction and body image issues, but you typically hear them from a standpoint of shame and guilt and hating oneself. I believe, because of my experience, that you could actually have body image issues but not necessarily hate yourself, because I didn't hate myself. I'm not saying it wasn't a struggle, because it was a struggle that lasted from my childhood until now. But I grew through the process, and I believe that it was a process that was necessary for me to be here today and for me to share with you. So another segment of the Marinate on This is the spinoff is going to be Free Like Me. Why am I doing this? Because I want you to be free like me. I want you, regardless of whether you weigh 300, 500, 600 pounds, and you've been struggling for 5, 10, and 15 years, I want you to see somebody who was there. I was there. And the new me, so many people see as the new me. But I'm still the same person that was in that 315-pound body, because that's where I take the scale at 5'2". So, by everybody's scale, I was morbidly obese. Not just obese, I was morbidly obese, with the added factors of being African American, having a family history of diabetes, heart disease, strokes, all that kind of stuff. So the chances of me getting to physically where I am right now were slim. But how many of you know that you have to get there mentally before you can get there physically? You have to. And for some of us, it's also a spiritual journey. I know it was for me. And so I could tell you my story, but I'd rather tell you how I got over. I'd rather encourage you to not give up. I'd rather encourage you to begin to take a really deep look at how you got here. Because guess what? It wasn't until 5 or 6 years ago where I really began on a journey of understanding that I was addicted to food. It wasn't until last year that I realized what food was actually doing to me and how I could be free from it. And it crosses over into so many things in our lives. So not only does a negative image of myself stop me from doing things, but it damages relationships. It keeps me from getting close to other people. It stops me from sometimes having the confidence to go in and compete with the next person who might look better than me. It could do those things. It has tried to do those things. But just like I didn't give up on working on my body, the physicality of my body, I didn't give up on working with my spirituality or with my cognition, just how I perceived things, how I perceived myself. But again, I'm probably not the typical testimony that you see on those infomercials, those infomercials that I really can't stand, that talk about the downtrodden individual who hates themselves, who cries night after night after night about who they are, who walks around in a shell of a person, who doesn't take the time to do self-care. I wasn't her. I wasn't that young lady. I was always the young lady that my friends saw as the pretty big girl. And there were times where I didn't feel pretty, but I didn't hate myself. So Free Like Me is about being free where you are, acknowledging where you are, and working on what you need to work on where you are to get the results that you want. I'm just saying to you, don't give up. Don't give up the fight. It is a fight, and I promise you the fight is for your good. It's out of adversity that we grow, that we change. You cannot stay where you are. Guess why? Because there's someone else who needs you to change your life. There's someone else who needs you to succeed in your life so that they can have the courage to succeed in theirs. And guess what? It's like a ripple effect, like a domino effect, because when that happens, they bring other people along. Why? Because they're inspired. They're motivated. They're encouraged. And that positive energy has to move. It has to move. So if that's you, and if you're struggling with your body image, if you're struggling with loving yourself, if you're struggling with feeling like you're worthy enough to do this, struggle no more. Be free like me. Reach out for support. Reach out for help. Reach out to people in your local area who are doing exactly what you want to do. Today we're talking about body image, but that could be for anything that you want to do in your life. Connect to people who are where you want to be. Take the first step to be free like me. This is Richale R signing off for now. Just marinate on it. Just marinate on it. And I'll come back and I'll share more of me, because that's how you get free. That's how you get free. When you share yourself, when you share your story, when you share your testimony, and you don't hide behind it anymore. Free like me. Marinate on that.